Is it just me, or does it seem that recently building in Minecraft has gotten a lot harder, whilst at the same time everyone else has gotten really good at it? I feel like somewhere along the line in the past couple of years that happened, and the standard for building is higher than it ever used to be. Not long ago you could make something as simple as this and be considered a pretty good builder. Nowadays people are talking about textures, hues, gradients, negative space, a lot of artistic jargon. Now, the tone I'm taking might sound like I'm not for this new wave of building, but that could not be further from the truth. I think it is so incredible to see what the Minecraft building community is doing with this game, and the fact that it's become even more widespread is amazing. I personally just cannot wrap my head around this new style of building, and I can't help but feel a little bit left behind, which is fine, by the way. I do quite frequently see people with a negative opinion towards this new style, which is totally okay. Building is subjective, so you're allowed to like some things and not like others, but it's often referred to as block vomit, which is a term that I don't think is exactly fair. The point of this new way of building is that everything is very intentional. Just like painting a picture where each stroke of the brush is carefully considered to affect the overall image, that's the same with every single block affecting the overall build. Block vomit makes it seem like it's just been thrown together without any rhyme or reason, and most of the time that really isn't true. These next lot of builds that will be on the screen are not only from fantastic builders, but also great creators here on YouTube. So if you see anything you like the look of, then there will be a link to their channels in the description down below. Now, builders are able to create some really eloquent and beautiful builds that honestly do look like a painting, and that's because they've put time and effort into what they've created. Instead of thinking in the realm of Minecraft and what we know is usually used for what builds and when, they approach building with that painter's mindset. So as opposed to sticking to what the physical block they're using actually is, for example using wood as wood, they'll focus more so on the color of the block, especially how it'll look from a distance. Take this example from Snarple, one of the OGs of this style. A crafting table and netherrack gold ore look pretty much exactly the same from a distance, but could not be any less similar up close. I think this might potentially be why some people dislike the look of these builds, because from up close you can see what every block is and the illusion sort of fades, but you cannot deny that it makes for some delightful looking builds, so maybe referring to it as cubic emesis isn't the best of descriptives. I definitely don't think it's a bad thing that Minecraft building is changing. I mean, it kinda hasn't ever stopped. The more updates we get and the more blocks we acquire means that over time the possibilities on what you can create in the game just continue to grow. Think back to the block options when Minecraft first came out. There wasn't much else other than oak wood, cobblestone and wool. Pretty limiting. Nowadays there are literally hundreds of blocks, all with different variants, so it's kind of a no-brainer that the building scene is evolving with each and every update. Players find different techniques or way to use the newest items, which get added to the long list of building styles. However, I don't think a building trend, shall we call it, has ever run quite this rampant before across Minecraft, and I would say a lot of that credit goes to BdoubleO. Now, BDubs isn't the one and only person to build in this style, nor was he the sole creator of it. There's so many people that play this game, it's sort of hard to be the first to do anything, but at least to my knowledge, he was the pioneer, showcasing it to the masses and really having quite the impact on the Minecraft building community. Which is why, rightly so, a lot of people online have coined this approach to building as the BDubs method or style. It's tricky to explain, but there truly is something about a BDubs build that makes it stand out and look so distinctly BDubs-esque. And when it's replicated well by someone who knows what they're doing, they can do a great job of imitating the style to the point where it looks like it could have been made by the man himself, which, trust me, is not easy to do. This is my home away from home in my survivor world, which as you can hopefully tell is very inspired from BDubs and his style. When I was creating this, I really tried to think about every single block and why it should be placed in the way that it is. such as the main stone walls of the house becoming increasingly mossier the closer it gets to the ground, or the deep slate on the roof being in patches as opposed to just a jumbled mess of them all mixed together, as though the colour is fading away from it in a way, if that makes sense. Same sort of deal with the copper in the roof of the horses stable, or the tuff making up the wheat silo. I even did my best to build the trees in a realistic way, but that's a whole other deal. Custom trees are another beast entirely. And the one thing that I learned from making all of this is that I do not possess the patience for this type of building. And that's okay. It has only made me appreciate it even more when I see it from others. Something that is probably worth mentioning is the mod Axiom, which has been gaining in popularity alongside this new style, and that's because a lot of these builders will use Axiom to assist in their building. Now, everyone has their own feelings about mods like Axiom, World Edit, or Litematica, but I think anything that enhances the world of Minecraft building is only gonna be a good thing. This is a sandbox game, you can use them if you want to or not. I've been trying to use Axiom a bit more for my day-to-day building, and it is incredibly helpful but also incredibly complex. I'm just getting to the grips with the basics and give myself a jump scare anytime I press right shift. It's not easy to wrap your head around, so anyone who has managed to master this mod or at least reasonably understand how to use it is a genius in my books, and it definitely shouldn't discredit their builds from being any less impressive. I mentioned briefly in the start of this video that I felt a bit left behind as far as building in Minecraft is concerned, and while that is true, I don't think it's necessarily a terrible thing. In fact, it may even be a good thing. I've always considered myself to be a builder when it comes to Minecraft, because normally it's that or be a redstoner, and I'm definitely not making the cut there. And because of this, I've always wanted to strive for perfection in my builds and make them the best they can be so I can be on par with some of the greats. You name them, I want to be able to build like them and probably get sad when I can't. The more time I've spent building in this game, the more I'm okay with my builds not being absolutely perfect, because that is a very hard thing to achieve. The more of a perfectionist you are means your threshold for perfection is even higher, just making it more and more rare or difficult to reach. Of course, like with all things in life, I think it's smart to try and do a good job, but sometimes I just want to build stuff in Minecraft and actually enjoy myself in the process. Now, of course, some people may enjoy working on a project until it is in fact perfect, but I just don't, and you may not either, which is perfectly fine. I still love to build things in Minecraft, it is very creatively fulfilling for me, but there are some things that I'm okay with not being able to do at a certain level, and emulating this style that we've been discussing is definitely one of them. Don't get me wrong, I love to give it a go, it is great to challenge yourself with trying new or hard things, but as I mentioned, I don't really have the patience. Nor the colour knowledge, I'm actually partially colourblind, so maybe that's the reason why I can't build in this way. Definitely does have an effect, but I think it is mostly just down to a matter of preference. I like my style of building, which in and of itself is constantly changing and improving all of the time. The same should go for you. Of course, be inspired from others and let their creations influence yours, but don't beat yourself up if you think what you've built isn't as good as what someone else has done. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. There's a reason they say comparison is the thief of joy, so don't let it affect the way you play Minecraft as well. The last thing I want to end on for this video is just to mention again about all of the creators who I've been showing you. Their channel links are in the description. I would also like to ask you to do something similar. Any creators, big or small, that you enjoy watching, whether they be builders or just great storytellers, that's what I tend to lean into more nowadays, so if you like my stuff, you've hopefully got some good suggestions. But please feel free to leave them down in a comment below and we can create a whole list of inspiring people for all of us to check out. But thank you so much for watching, everybody. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and opinions also in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.